putting the grain all together.
Wouldn't make much sense.
That's the gas station, the restaurant now where Charlie and Dick were working when Pearl Harbor was attacked and World War II started. They ran the gas station there at the time.
What did they say they sold their gas for? So many
No.
gallons
for $1.
5 gallons for $1.
A quarter gallon.
I never heard of a green gas.
There's a big old mansion, a Bell Woods mansion. You go up by that. Bell Woods mansion up on top of the hill. Wrought iron fence around it. Fine houses in town at the turn of the century or so. One time they sold for $1,500.
Automatic. Yeah.
Why do they have any trouble?
View from the top of the hill by the Bell Woods mansion. Sure can't see why they built it up here. That looks up toward Powersville, the railroad down there in the bottom. Just did. Picture of the gate to this house. There's the knob on that. And the date stone. They're one of the old empty houses in town. Up by the greenhouse.
That house is not going to make it much longer.
All these are abandoned and empty now. Another abandoned house in Lucern on the corner down at the foot of the hill where Grand... Who?
Starts.
I don't know, it looked like it was empty to me, but another old house in town at the foot of the hill.
Probably for the wagons to go in. I bet the big barn door was for the wagons.
Yes, that big old barn went with the big old brick mansion that was torn down. They used it for milk. The street down by school. School was down at the end of this street and down one block.
Look how huge those trees are.
This is one of the better streets in the down flat part of town.
You can get a good view of those trees,
These were big maple trees all planted about the same time years and years ago. Huge trees.
I wonder how old those things are.
Some of these houses are empty and some are occupied.
There's 4 of them in this corner.
And down there was a house that my grandparents first lived in when they moved to town years ago. Down on the corner. Oh yes, this is the Lewis town, not Lewis down there. Lucern, yes. Tire get thing. Volunteer fire department. Tire change, ready to go on the tires.
They must not expect a fire before winter at least.
It's parked in the south end of town. Red Rosses used to live in this house. Beside. Here's a picture again of my grandparents' house with Carol next to the big maple tree on the corner. Gives you an idea how large the tree is. Very old tree, large tree. One was planted on each corner of a block, of each block in the town, and these are some of the few that remain. Had a little old man that used to build sidewalks here in town, all the nice steps and walkways. That was his hobby. And he just might have been one of them that planted these trees, we don't know for sure. My grandparents first moved to town. They lived in this house for some time. Kenneth was here as a little boy, visiting. The girls next door used to try to get him to roller skate. That's where he skinned himself good when he first learned to roller skate on the sidewalk here by this house. It's a view down the street where there used to be several houses all torn down, the empty one on the corner. There's another large maple tree on that corner, probably the largest one of the ones left in town. It used to be the carnival grounds down there. I used to sit in that tree swing under that tree when I was a small child and watched the amateur contest, which was held right out by that tree on the back of a truck. Carnival being held in that field right behind the tree.
At that fort so they could attack the Indians coming up the creek, The Indians came in from the opposite direction. They couldn't get their cannons loose.
Another view of the old tree on the corner we were talking about earlier, largest one in town. So large you can't even begin to reach around. I think we measured over 18 feet one time. It's an old abandoned house on the corner, as most of the houses are abandoned in town. Anybody want to try to get to that tree?
I don't want to wait till they're deep. We might get down somewhere. pictures of it though from the side, how huge it is. We wrapped that whole tape measure around it 3 times and then some. It started part of the way around the next time.
Biggest maple I ever saw. Let's back up toward town again where the restaurant was on the corner. A well was in the center of the street there. Yeah, this is where the school stood. On this spot. No longer there. Mom went there, Kenneth went there. Charlie and Dick and David. Red Ross was the janitor there toward the end before they finally closed it down. That was the Crawford house, Kenneth was talking about a little bit ago. Empty now, sitting across from one of the several bridges in town crossing over the little ditches. There's Kenneth and Carol walking up that way toward the spot where Kenneth got stung with the bees. Which would be right in that tube there, which is an old boiler tube.
The bank, I tried climbing up the bank here. I disturbed them coming out.
Got stung by the bees here. What'd you see?
There's a big hole around
I
the
think Crawdads probably made these because we went, seining for them too, or try and pick them up, of course, with the pinchers.
Still around, aren't they?
But see that hole over there? That's just about where it's coming out of the
Where the bees
ditch when the bees got me. I disturbed their, the hole they had.
See, here
ground
we are
bees.
trying to video all this stuff, and here comes a swarm right about it.
There's that big old metal culvert. There's a long view of some of the buildings at Lucern looking up from the corner of the block where the school stood. And here's the back of the building. It's just now caving in. Last couple of years or so. That was a restaurant at one time. Legion Hall on that side used to be in there. All these buildings are abandoned now. Again, the post office and Dr. Steele building.